Sally Nugent has long been a reassuring presence on British television. Through years of work with the BBC, she has become known for her clarity, professionalism, and calm authority, particularly in sports and news broadcasting. Viewers recognize her not only as a capable presenter, but as someone who brings warmth and relatability into living rooms across the country. Over time, her role has evolved from simply delivering information to embodying a kind of everyday trust. She represents reliability in a fast-moving media landscape, and that consistency has allowed audiences to feel they know her beyond the screen. Yet more recently, attention has expanded beyond her journalism. At 53, Sally Nugent has become a quiet but powerful symbol of self-confidence, authenticity, and pride in one's own evolving identity. Her public presence now reflects not just professional achievement, but a deeper message about embracing who you are at every stage of life. A new kind of visibility. In recent months, Sally has drawn notice not through controversy or spectacle, but through a visible sense of ease with herself. Rather than retreating into the background or reshaping her image to meet expectations often imposed on women as they age, she appears increasingly comfortable, expressive, and self-assured. This shift has resonated with viewers precisely because it feels unforced. There is no sense of reinvention or performance, only a woman who seems grounded in her own skin. Her confidence is not loud, curated, or attention-seeking. It is steady, natural, and quietly affirming. The attention surrounding her now stems less from individual moments and more from what she represents over time. She embodies a reminder that growth does not stop at midlife, and that visibility does not have to be dramatic to be meaningful. By simply continuing to show up as herself, professional, open, and comfortable, Sally offers a form of representation that feels rare. A public figure who is not trying to prove anything, but is instead inhabiting her life with clarity. In doing so, she reframes visibility not as performance, but as presence, redefining what it means to age. Sally Nugent's public presence invites a broader reflection on how society understands aging, especially for women. Cultural narratives have long suggested that growing older requires shrinking, being less visible, less expressive, and less bold. Sally quietly challenges this assumption simply by continuing to show up fully as herself. She demonstrates that age does not erase personality, curiosity, or vitality. Instead, it can refine them. Her visibility offers a counter-image to outdated stereotypes, suggesting that growing older is not about losing relevance, but about gaining clarity. In her case, age reads not as limitation, but as depth, an accumulation of experience that brings confidence rather than caution. There is a sense that she knows who she is, what she values, and how she wants to move through the world. That assurance carries its own kind of beauty. By occupying public space without apology or pretense, Sally expands what aging can look like. She shows that later chapters of life can hold presence, creativity, and self-expression, reminding audiences that time does not diminish identity. It often strengthens it. Confidence. Beyond appearance. What makes Sally's influence meaningful is that her confidence does not feel rooted in surface presentation alone. It is closely tied to the way she carries herself, composed, assured, and genuinely engaged with her work. Viewers respond not simply to how she looks, but to how she speaks, listens, and moves through professional spaces. There is a noticeable alignment between her inner life and her outward presence. This kind of confidence communicates something deeper than aesthetics. It suggests self-respect, emotional steadiness, and comfort with one's own history. It reflects a relationship with herself that appears thoughtful rather than performative. Audiences sense that she is not trying to meet an image, but inhabiting her own experience. This is what gives her presence weight. It reminds viewers that confidence grows from how we treat ourselves, how we honor what we've lived through, and how honestly we occupy our lives. Sally's example reframes confidence as something cultivated internally, expressed through clarity, consistency, and self-trust. It is not something worn. It is something carried. Wellness as a foundation. Sally Nugent's energy and presence also reflect the importance of self-care as a foundation for confidence. Staying active, nurturing mental well-being, and maintaining balance are not vanity projects. They are acts of sustainability. Her demeanor suggests someone attentive to her own health, not in pursuit of perfection, but in service of feeling strong, capable, and alive. This perspective reframes confidence as something built quietly, through everyday habits and internal choices. It shifts the focus away from surface appearance and toward resilience. Viewers are reminded that feeling well often precedes feeling confident. When the body is supported and the mind is tended to, a natural steadiness emerges. Sally's presence reflects this integration. There is a sense of grounded energy rather than strain, ease rather than effort. Her example highlights that wellness is not about resisting age, but about supporting oneself through it. It is about adapting, listening, and caring for the life you are living now. In this way, wellness becomes not a trend, but a relationship, one that sustains confidence over time. Navigating public opinion visibility inevitably brings varied opinions, and Sally's experience is no different. What stands out, however, is her apparent steadiness in the face of commentary. She does not seem to orient her choices around pleasing everyone, nor does she react defensively to differing views. This restraint is quietly instructive. It reflects a mature understanding that confidence is not consensus. It is coherence, living in alignment with one's own values even when external voices disagree. By continuing to show up authentically, Sally models emotional resilience. She demonstrates that self-expression becomes more meaningful when it is not contingent on universal approval. Her approach suggests discernment, knowing what to take in and what to let pass. This kind of groundedness resonates because it mirrors a challenge many people face in everyday life: how to remain oneself in a world full of opinions. Sally's example offers reassurance that it is possible to be visible without being reactive, open without being defined by feedback. In doing so, she reframes public attention not as something to fear, but as something that need not disrupt inner stability. Inspiration without exclusion. Although Sally's story resonates strongly with women navigating midlife, its meaning extends far beyond any single group. The principles she embodies, authenticity, self-acceptance, and personal agency, are not tied to age or circumstance. They speak to anyone who has ever felt pressure to conform, to shrink, or to postpone becoming themselves. Her example reminds viewers that confidence is not about outperforming others, but about befriending oneself. It is not competitive, it is connective. In that sense, her influence is quietly inclusive. It speaks to people at beginnings, crossroads, and reinventions alike. Anyone at any stage of life can recognize the courage it takes to remain open, expressive, and self-directed in a culture that often rewards compliance over curiosity. Sally's visibility reassures us that it is never too late to change, to begin again, or to claim a fuller version of who we already are. Celebrating individuality. At the heart of Sally Nugent's appeal is her affirmation of individuality. She does not present herself as a model to be copied, but as a person comfortable being singular. This distinction matters. Rather than encouraging imitation, her presence encourages reflection. It invites viewers to ask, what does confidence look like for me? What values shape how I want to live? How do I want to inhabit my own life? By visibly honoring her own identity, Sally legitimizes the diversity of answers to those questions. She reinforces the idea that fulfillment grows not from fitting neatly into expectations, but from listening inward and responding honestly. Her example suggests that confidence does not require a script. It requires permission, the permission to be specific, evolving, and real. In celebrating herself, she quietly affirms everyone else's right to do the same. Reflecting on our own confidence, Sally's visibility functions as a mirror as much as a model. It gently prompts viewers to reflect on their own relationship with confidence. Where does it come from? What strengthens it? What weakens it? What supports it over time? Her story does not prescribe answers, and that is part of its value. It opens space for personal inquiry rather than comparison. Confidence may grow through creative work, meaningful relationships, professional purpose, or self-care. It may appear bold or quiet, expressive or reserved. Sally's example simply affirms that it is worth tending to, and that it is never complete. Like identity itself, self-confidence remains open, shaped by experience, revised by insight, and renewed through choice. Her presence reminds us that confidence is not something we achieve once, but something we practice across a lifetime. The centrality of self-acceptance. Underlying every aspect of Sally's story is self-acceptance, not resignation but recognition, not settling but respecting. Her presence communicates a relationship with herself that appears compassionate, grounded, and attentive. This kind of self-acceptance is not a finish line. It is a practice, returning again and again to the decision to value oneself honestly. It involves acknowledging change without fear and growth without apology. It allows room for both strength and softness, for continuity and transformation. Sally's visibility offers reassurance that self-acceptance can deepen with time, becoming less about evaluation and more about understanding. And from that understanding, confidence naturally follows. Her example suggests that confidence is not built by correcting who we are, but by standing with who we are. Self-acceptance becomes the emotional foundation from which expression, resilience, and ease quietly rise. Encouraging others to shine. Sally Nugent's example creates a quiet but powerful invitation. It encourages others to explore their own visibility, to honor their preferences, and to take up space in ways that feel authentic rather than performative. Her story suggests that self-expression is not indulgence or display, but participation. It is one of the ways individuals contribute their particular voice, perspective, and presence to the shared cultural landscape. By living openly and comfortably, she does not instruct others on how to be. She simply demonstrates that being oneself is enough. This is what gives her confidence a communal quality. It does not isolate her or elevate her above others. It reaches outward. It reassures people that there is room for different rhythms, bodies, ages, and identities. In showing ease with who she is, Sally quietly extends permission for others to feel at ease, too. Her presence becomes less about standing out and more about making space. Space for others to step forward, to be seen, and to shine in ways that are genuinely their own. Conclusion: confidence. Without expiry. Sally Nugent's public journey stands as a reminder that confidence has no expiration date. At 53, she embodies a form of self-assurance that is neither defensive nor performative, but grounded, reflective, and open. Her influence lies not only in her broadcasting career, but in the way she inhabits her life. She demonstrates that authenticity, pride, and personal growth are lifelong practices. Through her presence, she invites audiences to reconsider what it means to age, to succeed, and to feel at home in oneself. Ultimately, Sally's story affirms a simple but powerful truth. Confidence is not something we outgrow. It is something we grow into.